Hello, beautiful beings. This is Madihabi reporting love from Bali. And today I wanted to talk about the news. The 411 report, the 9 a.m. report today on X channel. Now, we live in a world where most people pride themselves on being news watchers or being updated on what's happening around the world. And I used to be one of those people. In fact, one of my old jobs involved me collecting news from all around the world, or shall I say news from all around the world, and making reports of these news outlets. Now, the thing I want to talk about today is the false belief or assumption in this very word, the news, that these headlines we are reading, written by media outlets and journalists, are factual or whole or complete informational updates on what's happening around the world. Scientific, objective journalism. And when we say I am watching the news or, staying updated on what's happening around the world, we tend to assume that what we are reading about and listening about and watching on the news is what's happening around the world. It's fact. It's objective. Beep! It's not fact. Everything that we read or watch or listen to is in fact a story. This means that every story has a perspective. And beyond that, every news outlet and the whole of the matrix news outlets are owned by very few people who have very specific agendas. And you can think about these agendas from a more political perspective, how each news source has a certain liberal or conservative twist. And you can go even higher and think of energetic perspectives. If you were to pinpoint one frequency, energy, or state of mind that the news puts you in, what would that be? For me, that would be fear, worry, anxiety, hopelessness, despair. And all these are very low frequencies. So when I think of agendas, whenever you think of these kind of bigger pictures where people and institutions have enormous amounts of knowledge and power and knowing of how the human mind and the human energy system works, that they know, the more we can bombard this news in the media, the more we can shower people with this very specific perspectives and agendas that seem objective but are actually entirely subjective and unique and tainted with these frequencies, then we can control and dictate how people behave and how they live their lives. So remember next time you're watching the news that these are not objective reports, but rather very intentionally crafted news sources. And therefore, this leaves me with my final invitation today, which is do your research. Look at outlets that are beyond the conventional, international, prided organizations. Go to websites like Reddit World News and see what are the stories that the mass media is not reporting. What are the good news that actually is happening around the world that you're never hearing about? Because in truth, when you say news, all I think about is bad news. I was opening a Bali website the other day and it was Bali news. But of course, every single story was bad news in Bali. Somebody getting arrested, somebody getting stopped, some party being crashed, someone doing something illegal. It's all about what you're not allowed to do in society. And very clear warning not to do it because that's what will happen to you. It's almost like the news is warnings. The news is global warming or other kind of warnings. And if you think about it, if you feel into it, if you keep your perspective broad, you'll know that there is so much happening around the world. And actually the world is in a good place. There is less famine, there is less poverty, there is less women dying from childbirth. There's less people going hungry. Yes, there are people going hungry and poverty and inequality and all of that, but less than ever before in human history. But we don't talk about these things, or if we hear it, it's a special news report or a bonus or a special feature. But this is the real news. And so today I want to challenge you to think a bit deeper about what is real news. What is the whole story? Dig a bit beyond what you see on these massive platforms and share news that is a bit unconventional, that is a bit radical, that is a bit open-hearted and optimistic for the human race. Because based on what the news we're watching all around the world today, it's hard to uplift the human spirit towards creativity and collaboration and the kind of things we want to create together as a species and as beings in this new world. And so really be aware of the media and news you are consuming and stop watching that shit. Stop watching things that do not nourish your soul and that keep you in fear and anxiety and worry about the world. And instead, watch the news that uplifts you. Watch content that makes you feel excited about what's happening in the world and what you want to be passionate about and contribute to. And that's my message for today. I hope that you found this message important. If you did, share it with your friends. And definitely, I hope to see you again next week. Much love. Leave me your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, let's do an experiment together. After finishing this video, look for a good news, a piece of good news, something good that's happening in the part of the world where you live. And share that article below. So just in the comments below, find a happy or good news article and share it. And let's create this platform here right now under this video where actually we can realize there's a lot of good news happening, a lot of awesome projects, a lot of beautiful people and kindness and generosity. And let's remember together that that's the real news.